You want to write a business plan for your coaching business so you know exactly what you need to do and where you're going? This video is going to show you how. So before I get into how to write a coaching business plan, I first want to just tell you a little bit about why I'm even qualified to talk about this. Just so happens that in 2013, I won the Miami Herald Business Plan Challenge for a program that I created called Make Them Beg. And actually, funny enough, my brother and I were both finalists in this competition that hundreds of people submitted business plans for. So we were head to head. There were 5 or 6 semifinalists or finalists, and my brother and I were both in there. We both used to write business plans. And since then, after that, and even before that, I used to write business plans for clients. I have an MBA, this is something that I've done for years. And so when I got into coaching, I took those skills and I applied them to the coaching business, and I developed a coaching business plan model, except that I don't call it a business plan, and I'll tell you why. Because business plans are dead. If you read, you can even search, Harvard Business Review said this years ago, that the business plan is dying or is dead. And the reason for that is that things change too fast to have one concrete plan that you follow for a year or 2 years or 5 years. In fact, there's a famous line that a general once said. He said, "No battle plan survives contact with the enemy." Well, I've adapted that and I say no business plan survives contact with the market, especially these days when things are happening and changing so quick. So what I developed instead is what I call a strategic roadmap. And what it does is it lays out certain key components of a business plan or a vision or a strategy, but it's a living document. I keep mine and my clients keep theirs in Google Slides. It's basically one slide per key item in the business model, in the business plan. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through each page of that business plan so that you get a sense of all the different things that a great strategic roadmap, AKA business plan, has in it. Okay? So this is a printout of my strategic roadmap that I'm going to walk you through. Now keep in mind, this is an evolving, living document. You don't just create it once and then put it away on a shelf. This is the kind of thing that you're checking in with every quarter. And actually in this model, the way I do it, I have a 90-day plan at the end of the strategic roadmap. And every 90 days, I add a new 90-day plan because it's a lot easier to plan in 90-day chunks than it is to plan in 1, 2, or 3 years. But it's good to have a vision of what you want to create over the next few years. And by the way, with a coaching business, things are a little bit different. Coaching business is not a business where the machines are doing all the work. You're doing the work, or at the very least, you're coming up with the core content that's providing the value to the clients. So even if you have a group coaching model, or even if you have online programs and seminars, you're still the source of the creation. And so it has to align with you. That's why my strategic roadmap starts with your identity and your purpose, your North Star, your core values. Like, who are you? So I have a whole page on who are you, what matters to you, what are you creating in the world? And also, importantly, how do you want to live? What's the lifestyle that you want to experience? Are you someone who wants to travel across the world all the time, or are you someone who wants to stay home and be with your family? Do you want to end your days at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or do you want to start your days at noon, right? Like, what is that lifestyle going to be? And I like to keep that in the strategic roadmap so that we were reminded always, oh yeah, that's right, I don't want to work on Fridays. So retreat from Friday to Sunday is not going to work for me, right? The next thing we want to capture in a business plan for coaching is what's the model? What kind of a coaching model are you using? Is it a one-on-one model? Is it a group model? Is it an online model? Is it a hybrid? Right? What are the different things that are the elements of your offering? Like, what is it? How are you going to structure your business model? And one thing to think about inside of that is, what are the revenue streams? Are these revenue streams diversified? Do they lead into each other? Do you have more than one revenue stream or 2 revenue streams? In case something happens to one, do you have something else? Are they monthly recurring revenues? I know it might get old to hear me say that again and again, but that is the foundation of a stable, sustainable business, monthly recurring revenues. Another thing you want to think about as you look at your business model is what I call the processionality of the business model, meaning phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I always like to keep 3 phases very front and center present. Phase 3 is the long-term vision. Where am I going? Like, I personally know that for my phase 3, I want to have a retreat center where people can come and host their retreats, where my clients can host their retreats. That's part of my phase 3, along with a New York Times bestselling book and being in Oprah's book club. Phase 1 is, where am I right now? What's the model that I'm existing in today that I'm working in this moment? And then phase 2 is that in-between step. Is there something between phase 1 and phase 3 that I need to go through to get from phase 1 to phase 3? So that's what I have here under business model and the evolution of the model. What's the trajectory? Where are we aiming for here? The third page of a great coaching business plan or strategic roadmap is your brand in a nutshell. Your brand is, what is the name of your business? What is the tagline? Is there a quote that you're famous for that you use all the time? Who's the target audience? What's your mission statement, your value proposition? What do you provide? What unique value do you deliver to the market? What's your differentiator? What's your expert title? I call myself the Superstar Activator. So if I were to walk you through my strategic roadmap, it would be, my company name is Superstar Activator. I have a really cool logo that you see at the beginning of every video. Who's my ideal audience? Well, the ideal avatar that I work with is someone who is an expert speaker, author, consultant, coach of some sort, what I call a superstar. Someone who's been successful already and looking to take that business to the next level, looking to step into a new version of themselves and their business model. My mission statement is that we help superstars build new revenue streams and business models so that they can have a better lifestyle and make a bigger impact, or some version of that. My signature system is the Superstar framework, the Superstar business framework, the 7-step model that I've walked you through in other videos that shows you how to build a business that's aligned with who you really are. My tagline is, I have a whole bunch of taglines, so I'm not going to make you suffer through all of them, but one of them is identity, income, impact. Another one is activating superstars to uplift humanity. How do you get the results that you get for clients? What's the journey that you take clients on? Now, this is something that we nail down with our own clients in our retreat. We sit down and we help them figure out what's the journey that you provide, that your coaching provides. So my journey is a 7-step journey from identity, lifestyle, brand, business model, marketing, sales, and scaling the business. That's the 7-step journey we take people on. What's the 7-step journey that you take people on? Whether it's for health or business or lifestyle or whatever type of coaching you do, there is some sort of methodology that you've figured out to achieve the results. Put that into writing, get that down on paper or into a computer so that you have clarity and you can start to really build your programs and products and services around your signature system. The next thing I like to look at in a coaching plan is, what's the Ascension model? Now, an Ascension model is where one program leads into the next program, leads into the next program. Some people call it a customer staircase. And so what it looks like is, at the early stage of your customer staircase, where do people start? Maybe it's something that you give away for free, some blueprint that you provide. Maybe it's your signature speech or your podcast that gets people in the door. But that's step 1, that's out front, that's the front end of the business. How do we get them from that front end into that back end? So for me, just for example, from all the marketing I do and videos like this on YouTube, eventually people sometimes end up on my email list, and I'm going to invite you to that at the end of this video, or they might have a call with me, right? They might set up a call with me to see about my programs, and that leads us to what I call a strategy session. A strategy session is a meaningful conversation that helps people to take that next step, which is to enroll in our signature foundational program called Superstar Business Breakthrough. From the Superstar Business Breakthrough, some of those people enroll into our influencer circle. That's our big back end. That's our monthly recurring 1-year-long coaching program. From that influencer circle, we have something called Leadership Cabinet. Once they complete that first year, they have a 2-year leadership program. And then we have a year 4-5 program and a for life program. So this is the Ascension. If you see here, you move up the staircase and the price points, you're able to earn more money as people go up through your process. Another part of the roadmap is what are the pricing and the packages? What is in each offering that you have, right? So that staircase that we just talked about, each step of the staircase is a part of your program. Well, what is that part of your program and what are the price points of it? Pricing is a really important part of business planning. If you think about it, pricing is the only part of the marketing mix out of promotion and positioning and PR and all that stuff that actually brings you money instead of costing you money. Every dollar that you're able to raise your price is an extra dollar. Once you've covered your costs, it's a whole dollar in your pocket. So raising your price is one of the best ways that you can raise your profits and your cash flow. So I'm a big believer in having very strategic pricing, and I have a whole video on pricing, so I invite you to go check that out. Once you're clear about what you're offering, who you're offering it to, and what unique value you bring to the world, it's essential to understand how are you going to get this brand out there? How are you going to get this message out? What are the marketing strategies? More importantly, what are the aligned marketing strategies that make sense for you to get the word out? So for example, with me, and I like to stick to 3 core strategies, although I have many more, 3 that I'm very on top of, very diligent about. The first is speaking. That's the best way that I've found to promote my products and services. The second is, you're looking at it right here, right now, YouTube. And the third is email marketing. Those are my top strategies for marketing. And by the way, I repurpose a lot of these strategies. So these videos that I do in YouTube, I grab the transcript free from YouTube, and then we take it and we pull it into a blog post, and then we take that and we put it into a LinkedIn article, and then we take that and we put it on Facebook. So, finding one strategy that you enjoy, like for me, this video with you, and then taking that and blowing it up all over the place. So you'll want to capture your marketing strategies inside of your business plan. And that way you can also adjust and course correct every 90 days. Probably one of the most important parts of any business plan, at least that's what they say in business school, is your projections. So once you understand what your pricing and packages are, then it's time to take a look at, okay, how many of this package do I want to sell? How many of this package do I want to sell? How many of these are going to convert into that? And starting to keep track in a spreadsheet. I know some of you don't like spreadsheets, but this is the best way to keep track of this, of what kind of activity you need to be seeing to hit the numbers that you want to see. So projections tracking is one of the most fundamental things that I do for myself and that I do with my clients, because I think it's so, so important. And if you ever wanted to go get a loan for your business or get an investor, the first and probably often the only thing they're going to want to see is your numbers, your projections. So that plays a big role in your business plan. Another thing that's really important is to identify who you need on your team. What are the roles and the organizational gaps that you need to fill? So a lot of times, as someone who's very creative and passionate and idea driven, people like us, if you're like me, then somebody that we might need on our team is an assistant or a support person or an admin person to handle the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts. So I always include a page in my business plans to identify what are the roles that need to be filled that would support this business to grow. And then finally, last but certainly not least, is your 90-day plan. And that's why this is a living document, because every 90 days it gets updated with your plan. And so every 90 days I'm looking at a new mission, or like a mission for the 90 days. My mission over the next 90 days is to launch my new book. Or my mission over the next 90 days is to fill my fall retreat. Or my mission over the next 90 days is to finalize my new website and get my YouTube videos out there. Whatever that mission is, and some sort of tangible, financial, numerical objective associated to that mission. So that means my objective over the next 90 days is to generate 100,000 in revenues or 400,000 in revenues, or to enroll 20 people into my big back-end coaching program, or to sell 20 people into my fall retreat. Whatever that objective is, that becomes the singular focus of all the other activity. Everything else is in service to that objective. And so then what we're looking for after the mission and the objective are established are what are the strategies that I'm going to use over the next 90 days to meet that objective, to meet that mission. And then inside of each strategy, what are the tactics that need to get done? So a strategy is a bigger picture. It's a collection of tactics. It's a way to achieve that objective, and the tactics are the specific to-do items associated with those strategies. So that's what I do for myself and for my clients to have a coaching business plan. Hope that was helpful for you. If you'd like to create a plan like this for yourself, then let's talk. Go visit superstaractivator.com/go and find out if and how I might be able to support you in creating your own coaching business plan. Enjoy.